To God be the glory. Respected Reverend Dr. Rustam Kaiser in Jeffrey, D.D., PhD, Advisor, International Mission Director. And I'm reading Pastor's writing. Book of Revelation is finished, and this is the new passage. And this is the Lamb sent to be slaughtered. And in the crucified Christ, in that portion is a Jesus laid down his life. The title is Jesus laid down his life. I refer to the Bible, what God has done to us. He brought us this kind of joy. And Isaiah 35, the wilderness and that be solitary place shall be glad for them, and that the desert shall be rejoiced and blossom as the rose. It shall be blossom abundantly and rejoicing even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it, an excellency of a Carmel and a Sharon. They shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of God. Strength he the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Says to them that are of a fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with a vengeance, even God with a recompense. He will come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped, and shall the lame man leap as an hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For in the wilderness shall water break out, and the streams in the desert. And when God appears, all the glorious things will happen. And that Jesus laid down his life. I'm reading Pastor's writing now. John 17:18. The ransom my Father loves me is that I lay down my life only to take it up again. No one take it from me. I laid it down on my own accord. I have authority to lay it down and authority to take it up again. This command I received from my Father. Luke 23:46. Jesus called out with a loud voice, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. When he had said this, he breathed his last. The avenger time of the suffering before the death by crucifixion is stated to be about 2 to 4 days. Although there are reported causes where the victims have for 9 days, the actual cause of death by the crucifixions were to be multifactorial. One of the most significant would have been the severity of the scourging. Edward says that Jesus died a quick physical death. Pilate was surprised that he had died as soon. Mark 15:44. While many of the physical signs preceding death will be present, one possibility is that Jesus did not die by physical factor, which ends this ability to live, but that he gave up his life on his own accord. His last statement, into your hands I commit my spirit, seems to show that Jesus' death occurred by giving himself up. In John 10, he states that only he has the power to be laid down his life and the power and prove his power over death by his resurrections. Truly, God is the one who has power over life and death. And so we ought to say that. And Galatians 2:20 says, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I will live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I have never lived in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. That's what Paul says, and we ought to say the same thing. And when you make his soul an offering for sin, God has gave himself and laid down his life for offering of a sin, for sin, to redeem us from the curse of death and sickness and sin. And Psalms said, Psalmist 49:6, for the redemption of their soul is costly. And Psalmist again say, our God is the God of salvation, and to the God the Lord belong escapes from death, whom God raised up, having loosed the pains of death. Nor did his flesh see corruption. Acts 2:31. Corinthians 2 Corinthians 2 Corinthians 11:24 says, from the Jew 5 times I received 40 stripes, minimum one minus one. That means the custom is 40 stripes. They will use the crucifixion. Before that, the scourging, they will use the whip and whip them. 40 whips is stopped. If they 39 means they can continue do that. And Hebrew 5:7 says, who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with a vehement cries and tears to him who was able to save him from death, and was heard because of his godly fear. Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has set down the right hand of the throne of God. Then it says in John 12:27, now my soul is troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. But for this purpose I came to this. Our Father, glorify your name. Glorify your name. And John 17:1 says, Father, the hour has come. Glorify your Son, that your Son also may glorify you. So this is what God has done for us. And I thank you very much. May God bless you all richly. Amen.